Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webcast, Accelerate Growth with Lasting Profitable Relationships. My name is Lee Simmons, and I am your moderator, and today's presentation once again is brought to you by our partner and presenter, Paul Ballew. Paul, of course, is D&B's Global Chief Data and Analytics Officer, responsible for the overall data and analytics strategy for the company. Our webinar today addresses the current operating environment and the business challenges associated with data and analytics strategies, as well as the customer and lead management actions that can set you up for success in 2014, not to mention how D&B can help you get there. For those in the audience who have a question for Paul, feel free to enter it into the Q&A panel at any time. And now for today's presentation, Paul Ballew.
Thank you very much, Lee, and as always, thank you for spending some time with us, and a big thank you to all of our customers and D&B associates joining us. I am very excited today for this webinar. We've had a fun year of sharing information with you, and I look at this session as being a little bit of the cherry on the cake. It's taking us to the point of where we've been evolving from a capability standpoint at D&B to help you be successful in the marketplace, and it's really oriented towards getting our focus and helping you grab your focus on customers, deepening those relationships, anticipating needs, and acting upon those insights, which is critical to our overall strategy. So as Lee just mentioned, we're going to spend a little time up front, once again reinforcing the operating environment, but then we're going to go in depth with regard to the capabilities from a sales and marketing standpoint to deepen those customer relationships, extend those relationships, and win despite a very challenging marketing environment and overall business environment that we're trying to grapple with. So by way of quick reminder, as we've talked about in other webinars, we do continue to live in this very complex business environment. We're living with this situation of a hesitant, choppy, uneven economic recovery. As we mentioned in our last webinar, our recommended approach from a business planning standpoint for 2014 and beyond is to assume more of the same. Assume that roughly 2% to 2.5% growth pattern of the last couple of years persists in the middle stages of the decade, and also be prepared for the choppiness, the unevenness, and the risks that lay ahead as that recovery tries to stagger forward into that second half. It is a tough operating environment, and so many of our customers play back to us the ongoing challenges of what's going on with the lack of stronger growth in the macro environment, lifting overall performance. As we look at that situation, quick reminder, it is the most unique recovery and cycle since the 1930s. This uneven, choppy pattern is likely to persist. Having said that, there are areas of great opportunity. There are areas of growth. There are areas of finding those needs of customers, anticipating those needs, and building upon those needs. Thus today's topic. And then you have to balance on the other end what I was just referring to from a risk standpoint, and how you can navigate those risks also is partially oriented and tied to how you relate to your customers and you react and anticipate their needs going forward. If you look at the operating environment, there is some good news. One of the things we decided to do with this webinar is to call out some pluses for you as well as some challenges. And we're using D&B proprietary data just really to illustrate the point of the challenging operating environment, as well as the fact that there are opportunities if you identify and can correctly reach those customers and prospects in a meaningful way. So a few little fun facts along the way. We've talked a lot in the last few webinars about the healing process and how the healing process has gained some momentum. Our tracking measures bear this out, whether it's our proprietary leading index known as Small Business Health, or it's just factual data coming out of the D&B data environment of what's happening to the balance sheet and the healthiness of the balance sheet. Business failures down, bankruptcies down, delinquency looking better, delinquency rates looking better, credit availability improving. On the flip side, the recovery clearly remains uneven. As we look at large businesses, there are pockets of significant growth. For instance, in a comparison we did over a year, we saw over 100,000 large businesses see double-digit growth. On the other side, we were able to identify 100,000 large businesses that flatlined. And then, of course, when we get into small businesses, we see this ongoing churn playing out of creation and businesses going out of existence that has been very dynamic in the U.S. economy for decades, but certainly in the small business environment, because this cycle has been so stressful, pulling out those areas of growth as well as those areas of risk in the small business community is extremely, extremely important. So the bottom line for us is recovery is continuing to stagger along. The healing process on the upside is a positive, but there's still all of these persistent headwinds, choppiness, patterns of growth, and patterns of hesitation, and patterns of retrenchment. So the real key for us and the key to help our customers is against this backdrop, how do I win? How do I find those areas of opportunity? How do I offset the risk? How do I get those actionable insights and then embed them into my workflows to be successful despite this marketplace? So for us, as we spend time with so many of our customers, we receive lots of questions about how do I accelerate growth? How do I deepen customer relationships? How do I find new prospects despite the operating environment I'm living in? As I reflect back upon this and I reflect back upon my 2 years now with D&B, I see this set of questions becoming more and more prevalent. And I think that that reflects an increased amount of what I would consider to be pretty good foresight on the behalf of customers who are asking us this question or these series of questions. It is an opportunity for us to help them be successful in a marketplace where they come to grips that there's no massive rising tide that's going to lift all boats in the economy. So let's find a way to navigate these waters, to deepen those customer relationships, to anticipate those needs, to prospect better, to improve my sales, marketing, and customer care capabilities. That's the opportunity. And for us, as we look at this, my first piece of advice to you today is to realize that to be successful, you have to combine art and science. For a long time, as we have looked at the U.S. economy and my old roles, we like to emphasize art a lot. Lots of experience. Sales teams have decades of experience in many cases. Marketing teams are knowledgeable and well-trained. Product development, in most cases, have people that have come up through the ranks. That art is an extremely important part of any successful model. But given the challenges in the marketplace and given the opportunity to leverage data and analytics and insight, the successful model involves bringing together the art and the science. So you can go down this path of seeing a customer and a prospect, knowing that customer and prospect, but then increasingly predicting their behavior and taking action in response to that future behavior that's going to make a meaningful difference. That's the goal of any successful player in the marketplace, I believe, today. And companies that are going to lead the pack in the decades ahead, I think are going to get better and better at this. And as I look at what that really means for a marketer or for a leader of sales, it's about taking this data-driven element and the analytics that go along with it and turn them into game changers to achieve the objectives that you have and have had for a long time. Create those new customer opportunities, deepen those relationships, become more efficient, become more effective, promote your brand and promote your business so when future demand materializes, you are top of mind. You want to be first and foremost in the minds of your customers and prospects, that as those needs arise, they think of you first, they call you first, they reach out to you first. As we look at what the art part needs from a science standpoint, I want to stress that a big part of my message today and a big part of my message over the last few years has been to stress this element of getting to this complete and actionable perspective on customers and prospects. It's about bringing together all of the data elements, whether those data elements are transactional in nature from a website or they're historical in nature in terms of past customer relationships or responsiveness to overtures. The real goal state is to take what you know and then bring about third-party data elements to bring in what they know against that complete view of your customer, and then use analytics to be predictive and prescriptive about how you should interact with those customers going forward. What excites me about the journey of where we're at from a sales and marketing standpoint is that this is increasingly feasible. And in fact, I'm going to turn my attention in a few moments to talking about CRM on steroids, taking your customer relationship management to the next level by bringing that art and science together, embedding it in your workflows to make a difference, and wrapping a virtuous process around it. For me, we're at a wonderful point in being able to help you be successful, And it's extremely important for us to lay out for you the roadmap of how to get to this stage of a complete and actionable view of customers and prospects and embed that into your day-to-day decisioning. From where we're at, a big part of this is to move through this journey of building your analytic muscle mass. So I put on the screen right now for all of you our analytic journey at D&B. It's about starting with those foundational descriptive insights that one can have, the age of a business, the size of a business. It's about building indices or other measures that take those foundational measures and start to pull things apart on a relative basis. Then it's about building analytics around that I consider to be low-hanging fruit. So for instance, for us, it's standard scores, which are diagnostic tools that allow us to provide you insights about relative future performance of customers. Will they pay their bills on time? Are they likely to go out of business? Are they likely to pay their bills at all? And then the fun part for us and the fun part for you is getting up to the tip of this pyramid, the ability to bring forth analytic solutions that give you that unique, actionable insight and become prescriptive. And that prescriptive point, once again, is why I want to talk about CMAs and LMAs today, because a customer management action and a lead management action is about harnessing all of the data and analytic horsepower within your organizations and with your third-party relationships to be able to get out in front of that need, take action in a proactive way, which will lead to higher retention, greater sales effectiveness, greater opportunities to cross-sell and deepen those relationships. So to drive this journey forward, in my tenure at D&B, we have been focusing very aggressively on upping our game from a sales and marketing analytics standpoint. We are continuing to use standard scores increasingly in the sales and marketing arena. I'm going to give you an example here in a moment about how the viability rating, which is a standard score, a multidimensional standard score, can be used to help you from a sales and marketing perspective. On top of that, we're continuing to move up this value chain of then customizing those scores, and then ultimately providing custom analytics which will support your day-to-day decisioning from a sales and marketing perspective. So if you think about the journey right now for us, I just mentioned on the standard score side what we're doing. And it helps us to look at standard scores certainly from supplier risk and risk management. But if you look at the top of this visual, it's about also using that set of analytics tools to help you make better decisions from a sales and marketing standpoint. What we're seeing right now is a tool such as the viability rating is helping to improve marketing response models sometimes in excess of 2x. What we're seeing is that those standard scores can help with pre-screening, that the standard scores and those foundational analytic tools can help you carve up your customer and prospect base into more precise segments. And that segmentation is going to become increasingly important to be effective in the marketplace. So I am very pleased that as you go up that analytic pyramid, that we've been able to bring forward new standard analytic tools which allow you to embed in your sales and marketing decisioning the ability to pre-screen, the ability to improve response rate, the ability to segment and carve up your universe with more precision so you can act in a more targeted way. And we have a whole sort of examples for you in terms of what we see being played out. So we're seeing more and more of our customers use this to identify slow payers. We're seeing more and more of our customers to use this to target premium marketing opportunities and more targeted communication. And then we also see standard scores as a good way of bypassing failing businesses or businesses that may be inactive in the future. And we have lots of great examples out there in the marketplace now that I encourage you to take advantage of, which shows you how to use those tools in a way to segment the universe. And in this case, we're using just one example to pull apart the differences between different customer groups and their ability to respond. By the way, for next year, we will be bringing out a marketing standard score, which will be a composite marketing score to add into your repertoire of other standard scores from D&B that then allows you to achieve this holistic view of customers and prospects to better engage with them. So if you think about the journey we're all on, it is about greater precision and it's greater timeliness to interact with customers and prospects. The analytic pyramid that I highlighted is very important, going from basic data to descriptive analytics to predictive analytics. The fun part about the journey, though, is what's next. And I wanted to spend some time today talking about this concept of CRM on steroids and the overall relationship management being taken to the next level. About a decade ago, the push on the B2C side started to move us down the path of improving our targeting and our responsiveness to customers, and also began to open up opportunities to proactively engage with customers to show the capabilities of anticipating their needs. Think about how powerful a brand is in the marketplace when you can not only be responsive to a customer contacting you, but you can go out and proactively engage with that customer on an issue that may be putting them at risk, or an opportunity by which you can offer to them a capability they didn't know you had. That was the whole journey with customer management and lead management actions on the B2C side. It was the opportunity of bringing in transactional data that was within your own data environment, augmenting it with third-party data, and then using behavioral analytics to identify those triggers and events that could lead to a meaningful interaction. What I'm very excited about right now is that the same opportunities are starting to be afforded to us in the B2B space. And in the commercial insight space overall, we are now looking at the opportunities to do all of the things that I'm showing on the screen right now. Identify with precision those customers that are the highest probability of defection, and by the way, those that an intervention could affect that trajectory the customer is on. Certainly identifying the opportunities to engage with deepening the relationship of upselling and cross-selling. On the lead management action side, it's about the ability to identify new acquisition targets as well as early adopters. The journey of where we're at in terms of building this muscle mass is now making these capabilities available to us. And what I want to stress today is that the opportunity is about being proactive with your interactions. It's not just a matter of segmenting out the hours in the day for your sales and marketing organizations. It's about not only telling them which customers to engage with, but to tell them to engage with the customers not just in a reactive or a defensive position, but in a proactive way. So as we look at this, the great opportunities of CMAs and LMAs are to do just that. Deepen those relationships, prioritize your resources internally, and then develop new relationships. What does that mean? Stimulates growth, certainly improves your pipeline and pipeline quality, and then it improves the productivity and the effectiveness of your sales and marketing organization as well as your customer care organization on a day-to-day basis. Just to whet your appetite a little bit before going into the specifics of what lead management actions are, how they're built, and how you can proceed forward, I just want to point out that we are seeing great upside opportunity for customers who are going down this path. The solution is to take the analytics that are driving CMAs and LMAs, embed them into your workflow tools, which are increasingly plentiful, and then put a virtuous process around this of continuous learning so you can adapt and refine the know your customer environment as well as your analytic learnings. I next want to walk you through 4 use cases of how you can drive results, and then I want to bring this to closure by walking you through how to begin your journey and how to work with us as well as other vendors to pull this together and push forward. So as we look at customer management actions and lead management actions, 4 case studies to pull out. One is how to use product signals to upsell. Second one is what we're seeing on the cross-sell front, then to improve your prospecting, and last, which I'll go a little bit deeper on, how to avoid risk of defection of your customers and how to take the insights from a CMA standpoint into your day-to-day decisioning to prioritize which customers who are retention risk should you be engaging with. So as you think about upsell opportunities, just pause for a moment and realize what is now available to us. So ultimately, you want to find the right customers to engage with, to market, call centers, sales rep time, to talk to them about new capabilities that they might want to use or enhancements of existing capabilities that are out there. What we're now finding in terms of our approach is you can take product signals, you can take past interactions, you can take inquiries, you can take data and predictive insights that are available in the third-party environment, activity signals that we're developing of changes going on in business performance in the future. So if you think about all of those signals, I was describing it to a presentation or with a group of customers recently as this EMT example of if you just take the pulse of an individual, you're getting one discrete data observation. The real power of a good medical exam is to look at a variety of measures and look at a variety of measures over a period of time. We now have the opportunity to take signals and signal data at D&B and within our customer's data environment and to look at the changes in those signals, make sense of the changes in those signals, and be able to identify that a customer's behavior is going to shift in the future, that they're growing, they're contracting, they're shifting their footprint, they may be expanding outside their traditional markets. And if you can link that with the art of the internal knowledge of what product offerings and solutions you can bring to bear, bring that into your workflow tools such as Salesforce.com, you can then embed that into the day-to-day work streams. What we're now seeing is we're finding greater and greater opportunities from a lessons learned standpoint where these trigger-based signals are providing a CMA on the upsell side, which is resulting in greater effectiveness and the efficiency that goes along with it. In this case, we're showing an example where we experimented on ourselves with our small business channel, which resulted in a very substantial uptick in wins for us. We felt it was important to show that we're using these tools as well from an upsell standpoint. Second example, of course, is cross-sell. And when you look at cross-sell for business models, for instance, at D&B, we sell risk products as well as sales and marketing solutions. There's a great opportunity for us, as I suspect with many of you on the call today, to find those opportunities and those lead referrals that go along with it. What's occurring in this case is that based upon the predictive insights we have, we can build propensity models to identify the best candidates for cross-sell opportunities. And then once you're able to do that, you can prioritize those accounts which are warmly received usually by the sales team if you work with them, and then importantly for us, embed that continuous learning of whether or not those cross-sell opportunities are paying off. Once again, our experimentation on ourselves as well as with our customers has proven a substantial uptick with regard to the day-to-day activities that our sales team members are focused on, as well as the feedback we're getting from our customers and their ability to prioritize their day. The third area that we see CMAs and LMAs taking off, of course, is with new customer acquisition. I suspect many of you on the call struggle with this issue of new logo, new opportunities, what we call NCA, new growth. How do I break into the marketplace to find better targeting? Historically, what we've done and what we've supported all of you to do is we've looked at certain SIC codes, we've looked at certain firms of a size dimension or an age or some other firmographic driver. What I like about where we're at from an LMA standpoint is if you couple the past responsiveness of sales and marketing campaigns, if you couple that with third-party data about what's going on at the business, once again, our focus on signal data and predictive insights driving that, and then you put the test and learn around that environment, you can drive greater and greater precision in your opportunities to go pursue new logos and new NCA. Again, the key in my mind with lead management is that lead management in the B2B space has been so crude and so imprecise that sales team members usually turn a deaf ear. What can now be done in terms of greater precision with the effective engagement of your sales organization can make a tremendous difference in their ability to prioritize and find those right prospects. And then the last case study I'm going to go a little deeper on is retention risk. In this environment that we're dealing with in the soft economy and hesitant recovery and all the other headwinds that we're all grappling with, one of the things that's critically important for any successful business is to keep the existing customers you have and to leverage that relationship to deepen that dimension of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. What I find very important from a CMA standpoint as it pertains to retention is that all of the building blocks are here. You know your past relationships with your customers. That's a proprietary asset that you have. You know past patterns of customers who are demonstrating the fact that they're going to shop or are likely to be shopping in the future. There are signals, and many of you have identified those triggers or other elements that could prompt you to engage with those customers. I think it's very important not to lose sight of the fact that that's a good starting point of infrastructure. Past purchase behavior, past activity in call centers, past responsiveness to sales and marketing, all of the things that you've developed as early warning signs that a customer may be at flight risk or could be shopping. What is now very important is that you can bring forward other insights into prioritizing which of those customers are not only at risk, but which of those customers are effective or you can be effective in engaging with. Which of those customers, by reaching out to them, you can make a difference. Once again, it's about prioritization. It's great to identify customers at risk. It's much better to identify those customers at risk that you can make a difference and prevent that defection from occurring. So for us, I'm giving you a real example. For us at D&B, we pulled apart our customer base in a certain channel, and we've dissected it. And one of the things historically we've looked at is we've looked at usage, and we've looked at the type of contract or renewal we have. And we've historically had this danger zone that we've identified of low usage and non-long-term agreements with us as a business. Well, what's interesting for us is that when we've gone out and tested and we've been proactive in reaching out with these customers, it's been a mixed result. It hasn't been a poor result, and it's better than not engaging with those customers at all. But what you find when you pull apart those cells and you take the opportunity to go further than just these traditional course measures of who's at risk and these traditional course triggers of who's likely a defection risk, what you find is within those cells, by using other behavioral insights, you find out that in some cases that there's a subsegment that's a low risk. You also find out that in the high-risk category, there are those that you can effectively bend the curve on and those that you can't. They're leaving for reasons that may be internal to their business. They're leaving for other factors that you have no control or influence over. It's that degree of precision that we're looking at. I also point out that in the cells that are the safe zone, there are subcategories there of customers who are also at risk. They're at risk because while they have a long-term relationship with you right now, and that they may be using your product fully today, there are things going on in their business that is prompting a behavioral change that will prompt them to shop. That's what's important about this. And it's important about the fact that we have the opportunity to support you in that journey. That level of precision to carve apart those traditionally coarse measures so you can prioritize your day, so you can anticipate the needs of your customer, and also so you can, in some cases, go deeper to find those things that are prompting customer dissatisfiers. That's the great opportunity that sits in front of us. So you can tell the excitement in my voice because this is a journey for me that dates 2 decades. What we are going to be able to do in the future is incredibly exciting. The ability for us to help take our sales and marketing activities to the next level is right in front of us. I feel very blessed that at D&B we have invested in our own infrastructure from an internal analytics standpoint, as you can see from the examples I just gave us. But I also feel very blessed because we feel like we have a roadmap to help you go down the path of leveraging these insights, of being able to take insights from customer clicks as well as other data sources, to bring those analytics together in an ecosystem that helps you determine not only what the future behavior will be for the customer, but helps you understand the best course of action. And that's where I want to turn my attention to next, as I bring this closure for you and I take you down the path of where to go. To be successful from a customer and lead management action standpoint, there is an ecosystem that has to be built. There is a system of master data management and the ability to organize your transactional data and your third-party data. There is also an ecosystem that once you have that single view of the customer, and once you've organized your data assets, has to be built as well on top of that. That ecosystem, yes, involves predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics. It involves a commitment to segment and make sure you understand the opportunities with your customers and prospects. But it's very, very important that your workflow tools and then your feedback and measurement plan is in place. One of the things I stress when we work with our customers on this is that feedback and measurement process is as important as the data elements, the predictive insights, and the analytics. You have to be able to track activity to outcomes and then take those learnings and continuously iterate on them within your analytic environment for the greatest success you can have in the marketplace. That ecosystem is essential. And I encourage all of you on the call to think about your journey from a sales and marketing standpoint as it involves bringing science to the art as the development of a transformational initiative that involves developing an ecosystem. So for us, we're looking at this as a journey, bringing together all the assets we have from an internal and external standpoint, getting to that single view from an identity resolution perspective. We've brought that into our own customer environment. We call that our Know Your Customer. And then we're building our own management actions around that, leveraging analytics. That's our structure. We have been testing this with other customers and helping customers build a similar structure. I am convinced that this is the structure that works best in the marketplace and can drive the greatest success possible. So to bring this forward, I want to reiterate our commitment to you. We are here to help you develop that complete and actionable view. It is about this journey of I see you, I know you, and I can predict and take action on your behalf. That's our journey in the commercial insight space. We are investing not only in our data and predictive insights, not only in our analytics as they're being manifested through standard scores. We are also investing in the capabilities to help you develop the ongoing targeting precision you need from a sales, marketing, and customer care standpoint that's desperately required in a very challenging marketplace. I am convinced that all of you on the call can achieve this goal state. I am convinced you can take the science and couple it with the art and have dramatic improvements in your sales ROI, your marketing ROI, your customer care, your customer satisfaction, and the overall value that your customers derive from you. For us, it's about how can we help you accelerate your growth. And just a few things to stress. Be smart about your marketing. It is absolutely important today that we all embrace marketing and sales ROI on the B2B side as well as the B2C side. Marketing ROI came to the B2C world 10 years ago, in some cases 15 years ago, and if you're Procter & Gamble, 50 years ago. The journey is now there on the B2B side. It's about being smart about your marketing, and it's about the ability to leverage the science along with the art. I believe it's essential to deepen those relationships. I think the number one priority we all have to have every day when we get up in the morning is to treat each and every customer as that honored guest we've invited to the party. I steal that from Jeff Bezos from Amazon, so I can't claim it's an original quote. It is a quote that I think is incredibly accurate and timely in the world we live in today. We live in a world of headwinds and complexities and competition and disruptive players. The challenge I throw out to all of you is, do you want to be the disruptor or do you want to sit back and be disruptive? I really believe that the desire we all have to have is to be the disruptor. And being the disruptor is involving the commitment to the customer to serve their needs better and deepen those relationships, and through customer management actions and advanced analytics, this can be done. Please use data-driven strategies. It is essential for all of us to continue to take advantage of the last 3 decades of data and analytics and infrastructure investment. The opportunities are before us, and therefore for us, our commitment has to be to provide that support. So I'm going to wrap this up by thanking you, by reaffirming our commitment to help you go down that path. I hope all of you will jump at the chance to build your customer and lead management ecosystem. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed you'll look to us to help you build that ecosystem. We care about your success in the marketplace. We believe that the path we're going down on the sales, marketing, and customer care side is unique in the B2B space. So please take advantage of it. Please let us know how we can help you. So with that, Lee, I'm going to turn it back over to you for questions and comments, and I look forward to the dialogue.
Thanks, Paul. And once again, for those in the audience, if you have a question for Paul Ballew, just enter it into the Q&A. And a quick reminder that we will be sending out a playback of today's presentation in the next few days. So be on the lookout for that. And Paul, diving into the Q&A now, you mentioned small business towards the front of the presentation today. And I'm wondering if you foresee some fairly big challenges in 2014 for small business, if you had to narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3, what those would be, and how small business owners can anticipate to try and address those issues.
So it's a great question, Lee. Let me take it from a number of different perspectives. We're cautiously optimistic about what's going on with small business. They could certainly stand stronger economic growth, but the healing process has played out with small business in the U.S. very rapidly, more productive, more innovative, and adapting to a tough operating environment. So not the most favorable economic backdrop that any of us would like to see, but we're cautiously optimistic about the small business category. Having said that, we believe the recovery process will remain very uneven and choppy, as I mentioned in today's presentation, which means that to effectively engage with small business, you have to be prepared and have precision in your interaction, because one size fits all isn't going to work. And there's also different responsiveness you're going to get given the uneven and choppy recovery, because if we think the overall economy is being uneven, it's been even more uneven with small business. It's one of the reasons why with our standard analytic solutions, we have focused so much time and attention on use cases with regard to small businesses to give our customers the opportunity to effectively engage with those small business organizations, whether it's sales or marketing or risk. The last point to drive against this with small business is that if you're a small business owner, you can still use data and analytics to improve your sales and marketing activities. This is not just for medium-sized and large firms. You may not be able to build an entire CMA and LMA ecosystem, but you can clearly take advantage of other analytic tools that are part of that analytic pyramid that I showed you. The ability to use firmographic information, the ability to use standard scores. Those tools are available to you to help you with your pre-screening, to help you prioritize your day, to help you direct your scarce resources, which is what this model is all about.
Thanks, Paul. And here's a great question that I think a lot of D&B prospective customers probably have, and that is, what is it that we actually provide? How would you characterize what D&B delivers? Is it software or is it a service?
So it's a great question that we receive often, because I think we're all hopeful that there's this box that comes off the shelf and we plug it in. So our approach is to help you comprehensively from a solution standpoint. That includes certainly data and predictive insights. It includes analytic solutions. It also includes custom analytics and consultative support, so you can assess your environment, so you can look at your current tools and capabilities, and we can provide you advice and counsel all the way through to embedding in your workflows and building this virtuous cycle. One of the things, Lee, we're increasingly doing for our customers is we're offering a service we call the health check. And that is bringing our expertise from a D&B standpoint across your master data management, your analytic capabilities, your ability to get to a single and complete view of your customers, and then your ability to leverage all that in terms of insights. So as I look at that question, I don't view us as giving you the software package and saying good luck. I view us as being a solution provider for you in the B2B space, and we've been investing a considerable amount of time and energy and resources over the last couple of years of building capabilities that enable you to be effective to transform your sales and marketing approach. And that's really how I look at customer and lead management actions. Those are transformational initiatives to help you go down the journey of being more effective in the marketplace. By the way, sales, marketing, and customer care, I would be remiss if I didn't include the customer care piece in that.
So Paul, taking off from that point, say I was working in sales, marketing, customer care in the telecom industry. I'll give you the telecom industry. How would the viability rating help me to define my best potential customer segments?
So it's a very good question as well. One of the things we're seeing in verticals like telco or in other verticals is they're using the viability rating and standard scores as one part of their overall repertoire of improving sales and marketing performance. So we're seeing it being used to improve response rates on direct mail. We're seeing it being used as part of a pre-screening process, both in terms of direct marketing activities, but also the sales and marketing prioritization or other techniques you may be using in the marketplace. So the wonderful thing about the viability rating is it's a multidimensional score that has all sorts of use cases, and it's been very gratifying for us to see how sales and marketing teams are using it, especially on the prospecting side. By the way, one dimension that's really popping out of viability as a nice analytic tool or a nice set of predictors is the depth of data indicator. Using the depth of data indicator is proving to be a very good diagnostic tool, a very good predictor to improve those response rates, which tells you a lot. If D&B has a lot of information and predictive insights on a business, those firms tend to be more responsive to sales and marketing overtures.
And is the experience with viability the same in other verticals as well? For instance, what if I'm working in finance as opposed to telecom?
So it's similar, although each vertical has its own unique needs. Viability is a powerful solution across all those verticals. In finance or financial services or in others, you see some customization, and they may use different elements. But there's a lot of power in the viability rating. There's also a lot of power in bringing all the analytic tools together to get to this complete and holistic view and driving your sales and marketing effectiveness based upon that. So as we like to say, if I look at a prospect in terms of whether or not they're going to pay their bills on time, whether or not they're going to pay their bills, whether or not they're going to be in business, whether or not, which is the viability component, whether or not D&B has a lot of data and predictive insight, and then going forward, whether or not they're going to be responsive based upon the sales and marketing scores that D&B provides, you put that holistic picture together, that's a great way to start to prioritize your sales and marketing resources, and then you can set yourself up to do what's even more enjoyable and more effective, and that is CMAs and LMAs take those wonderful standard scores to the next level by bringing behavioral elements in and triggers in, and then next year we're going to bring forward even stronger behavioral analytics with the capability we call material change. So it is a very, very good time to start to leverage those analytic tools to prioritize your sales and marketing capabilities.
And Paul, getting back to the notion of CMAs and LMAs, if I am a total newbie to this conversation and I want to leverage CMA, LMA, how the heck do I get started?
Well, talk to us. Talk to our sales teams, talk to our product teams, talk to my organization. We are here to help you. We're here to help you assess your current environment. Once again, it's why we're offering the service we call the health check. We are here to help understand what you're trying to achieve in the marketplace. We're here to help you start to deploy capabilities. And once again, there's a reason why I included that analytic pyramid in today's presentation. Going up that pyramid is a great journey. At each step along the way of driving insight-based decisioning into your organizational structure, you will be more and more effective, improve your ROI, grow your business, deepen customer relationships. So please don't be shy. Reach out to your relationship manager or your sales contact at Dun & Bradstreet and say, I need help in terms of improving my sales and marketing effectiveness, and let us help you go down that journey and be most effective.
Paul, I think we have time for just one more question. And from an international perspective, what's our coverage of countries that our analytics cover?
So we produce analytic solutions in a host of countries. Right now, what we're focused on is in 2014, there are about 15 countries we will be, to be precise, not about, 15 countries we will be bringing out new analytic solutions in. That includes taking the viability rating to another 7 markets next year. So right now we do offer failure scores in certain markets, a delinquency score, and emerging markets what we call an endless score. Next year we will be expanding our delinquency score to more markets and introducing the viability rating outside the U.S. for the first time. We're doing that in part, and in large part, because of the need on the sales and marketing side. There are certainly core needs on the risk side and the risk management side, including supply risk, but we're doing that to extend our capabilities from a sales and marketing perspective.
Thank you, Paul. That's just about all the time we have. Just a quick note to our audience that any questions we weren't able to get to today, we will be able to capture, and we'll try to reach out to you with some answers in short order. And Paul, with that, do you have any final thoughts for us today as we sign off?
Well, let's wrap up with two things, Lee. First, thanking everybody for their time and their attention and for their business and their relationship. We value that. We are focused on trying to help you win in the marketplace, and that would be my second conclusion, or second wrap-up point today, and that is we are on a journey to help you improve your sales, marketing, and customer care effectiveness. That sometimes is an area that doesn't receive maybe as much brand attention from D&B, but it's a core part of our overall global strategy. It is equally as important as what we're doing on the risk side. I hope today's session gave you some sense of where we're going and what we're already capable of doing. And if we can help you in any way, please do not hesitate to contact us. Lee, thank you once again for a wonderful webinar. We always appreciate you hosting.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks everyone again for joining us today. And with that, from all of us here at D&B, have a great day and weekend.